What's going on, everybody? My name is Preston Stryker, and today I'm going to be showing you my whole editing process on this beautiful GT3 RS. So let's get right into the video. Alright, so as you guys can see, I have Lightroom opened up right now, and this is the beautiful raw picture, nothing better than a raw GT3 RS. Alright, everything that I use today is completely free. It is on the desktop version of Lightroom, and I'm editing on my M2 MacBook Air, and yeah, let's get right into the video. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and go over here to this mask button on the right side, right under the remove. And we're going to start out with our first mask, and that's going to be a subject mask. So as you can see here, it is going to be the car. And then we're going to take that, and as you can see, it covered that left car too. So we're going to go ahead and subtract, go to objects, take this brush over here, and we're going to go ahead and just remove this car from that mask because we don't want this car getting masked with the GT3 RS. Try my best not to get the Porsche in there at all. Alright, that mirrors might have to be redone, but that should be pretty good though. Alright, as you can see, that actually looks pretty good. Go ahead and do this underglow on the car. Alright, that's pretty good, just cleaning that up a little bit. Alright, so now we are going to add, and we're going to go to objects, just because the mirror got cut out too. We're going to go ahead and add this mirror back. So we're going to do finishing touch on this mirror. Make sure that gets added back, so we don't want to edit the car without that mirror. Alright, so as right now, that doesn't look bad at all. So now we're going to go back over to that mask button here, and we are going to start editing exposure, contrast, highlights, all that good stuff. Alright, so we're going to start out with that exposure. We're going to drop that exposure down to about that 0.6 range, so right negative 0.6, and that's just going to darken the car up a little bit, as you can see here, instead of it being there. So this is raw, and that's edited there. Alright, so now we're going to move on to that contrast. We're going to take that contrast, and we're going to bring that contrast up to about that 0.15 range right there. And as you can see, you're going to be like, oh, it's darkening up the interior a little bit. But we'll bring that back with the highlights and shadows. So here, next one, we're going into the highlights, dropping those highlights all the way down, taking those shadows, bump them all the way up to 100% there. And as you can see, it brings out the interior a little bit more, so now you can see the interior details a lot better. Alright, taking that white, and we're going to bump that white down just a little bit to like that -30 range there. And so far that looks pretty good with just the subject edit of the car. So now we're going to move on to our second mask, and that's going to be a background mask, which is definitely going to clean up the background, make the car stand out a little bit better. So here we go. We're going to go in here, and we're going to click subtract, and we're going to subtract that we're going to add that car. So we're going to go in here, add objects, and we're going to make that brush a little bit bigger, and we're going to do this opposite of what we did last time. Now instead of subtracting that car from the edit, we're just going to add that car. Alright, so we want that car to be edited with the background edited. That doesn't even sound like a word. Don't know what I just said there. Alright, so that looks pretty good there. Definitely got the car in there. Yep. So that looks pretty good. And we're going to do one more subtract objects. And we're going to bring that brush down. And we're going to do the opposite of what we did with the mirror last time. We're just going to remove the mirror from that, because we do not want the mirror being edited with the background. I keep saying edited. I don't even know if that's a word. That just sounds stupid. Alright. Now we can start editing the light and stuff. So now we're going to get into the exposure, dropping that down to that 0.7 range right there. And that actually looks crazy. Look at the difference there. It's without it, and that's with it. That just looks crazy. That's without it, that's with it. I just think that looks crazy. Alright, now we're going to take that contrast, bump that up to that +30 range. Right there should be good. Alright, now we're taking those highlights as always, dropping them all the way down. Shadows all the way up, there you go. And then those whites, you don't have to do anything with them if you don't want to. I'm just going to bump them to that -20 range. 20 range right there. Alright, second to last gradient or mask we're going to do is we're going to go here, create new mask, hit that linear gradient. Linear gradient is one of like the best things you can do to take away some of the human eye from that background and get it so the car is the main event of that picture. Here you go. So you're going to take that from the bottom, drag it up. I'm going to bring it right here to like the top of the bumper and drop it right there. And now we're going to go here, and all we're going to do for this one is drop this down to minus 60, minus 0.60, and then we're going to take this and go plus 20, plus 25 right there. Alright, as you can tell, that is before the linear gradient, and that is after. It just darkens that background so the attention gets drawn to the car. Alright, now what we're going to do, we're going to go create new mask, and we're going to hit the radial gradient button there. Alright, so what I like to do is just shape out the headlight as best as you can. You're going to have to edit it a little bit, resize it to how you need to for that headlight, and that looks pretty good right there. So all we're going to do here is bump that exposure up to that plus 40 range, and then we're going to take that contrast and bump it down to negative 59. Honestly, just make it negative 60 actually. So I'd say between negative 60 and negative 55 is, negative 60 and negative 55 is where you generally want that contrast for the headlight, as that is without it, and that is with it. As you can tell, it just brightens it up a little bit. All we're going to do here, click on it, duplicate mask 4, and what we're going to do, drag that over here. You will have to reshape it, especially if you're taking like a front 3/4 angle, just because you're not going to get the same shape of headlight from different angles like that. If you're taking a straight on, that's a different story. Then you might have the same shape, but here just have to resize it a little bit. It's not that big of a deal, and then it'll just copy the same exact lighting settings from the just mask 4. It's just a mask 4 copy, so it's the same exact thing, just opposite headlight. Alright, so there you go, we have it there, and right there, that's the finished product, and that is from RAW, this beautiful RAW GT3 RS, to this beautiful picture that I edited as a beginner. Alright guys, this is super easy to learn. Lightroom is a very, very easy editing software for pictures, especially car photographers. Let me know if you guys have any questions in the comments, and don't forget to hit that like, comment, and subscribe button, and stay tuned for the next video.